What's up, teammates? So, what's the definition of a hater? A hater is someone, in my opinion, that dislikes anything despite evidence proving to the other side, to the adverse. We'll start with Mitch Renz. I hate Mitch Renz, but he has a good show. The evidence supports that, right? So I can't say that he's a bad show host because there's too many people who watch him to say he's bad. What I can say is that I hate him. So I'm a hater on his success or on his ability, on his personality, whatever it is. At some point, it's not him, it's me. That's what hating is. So why do people hate on AOC? I don't understand, but it's quite obviously hate. Even after what happened last game, even as the season was last year, even with the numbers that he got last year, and you guys know how it compares to Bo Nix's number, he's still getting no respect. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why people hate so much. I'm watching Mitchell Renz, and he's the reason I started this particular program, this show right here. Not the reason I started my whole into getting into the podcast area. Is my own thoughts. It really be, it's partially because Mitchell Renz. It's because all the people that's hating on Aiden O'Connell, and I couldn't stand it anymore, and I started another one. So yeah, maybe it is just I'm a hater on Mitchell Renz from the beginning because of the way he talked about Aiden O'Connell. So what? But at least I can admit that to you. I can come to your face. Someone asks you, do you hate Mitchell Renz? I'm not going to try to say, look, it's not that I don't like Mitchell Renz. It's just that blah, 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 blah. And we've talked about this before when someone says something, 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 but everything they said before the but means nothing. They said the thing before the but to get you to listen to how they feel, which is coming after the but. Okay? So for it's like, hey, I understand what you're saying, but I don't agree with any of it, and I don't think what you're saying is right, and you should agree with me. That's what that's all about. And that's where Mitchell Renz is. It's not that I don't like Aiden O'Connell, it's that he is a bad quarterback, and he shouldn't be a quarterback for our team. And I don't care what. Okay. But understand you're being a hater. Okay. Well, let me tell you what he said that made me really understand that he's a hater and understand that, you know what? There's a lot of haters out there. And there's no reason to talk to the haters. There's no reason to try to convince the haters because, first of all, they don't think they're haters. They just think it's their opinion. But they don't look at the fact that there's evidence to suggest the other way. No. That evidence doesn't mean anything when it comes to the fact that you want to hate on it. I hate mint ice cream. Mint ice cream sells out. But I hate it. I'm hating on it. And I admit it. But there's so many people who don't like Aiden who don't realize that they're just hating. Just hating. You have no real reason to say he's as bad as you say. People, if they can't say that KC game and his lack of mobility, there's absolutely nothing to complain about. And they can't let those two things go because that's the only thing they can hold their hat on. If we come back with, and I could come back with plenty of things, right? Let's just talk about KC games. Let's just talk about what he's done against our biggest rival. In 3 games against KC, his first game, he had the best game of any quarterback that week. I'll keep bringing that up. The second game, they won regardless of what he did. They won the game. He had no turnovers, and that was the reason they won. And don't forget, he did well enough for us to score 2 field goals, which is the reason we won the game. The defense didn't score all the daggone points, though they did score 14. And then the last game against KC, you saw what happened with that. We almost won the game. He went there and tore them down. But we can talk about other games that he did last year. We can talk about the first game out with the Giants when we were falling apart and we could barely see the number 20 when it came to the scoreboard. And the only time we got there was because the defense put another score on for us. So we made actually 20. But Aiden got in there and we scored 30 points the very first game and won. The next game, we didn't score 30. We didn't score 20 points. But Aiden had a decent game and we won. But there's no credit for that. All of that is forgotten. Those 400 passing yards and 4 touchdowns against the Chargers, that's all forgotten too. None of those victories mean anything. All you see is the losses and the one victory that was a bad game. So everything else, even if it was a good game, it's a loss and it counts against him. And if he had a bad game and it's a win, it's still just going to count against him. That's called hating. That's called looking at everything that there is and saying, so what? I say he stinks. And just because I see, and what people don't understand is, just because one says doesn't mean that one is correct. And just because a popular opinion is out there, it doesn't mean it is popular and it's correct. It's just what people are saying. People were saying the earth was flat a long time ago, and it was a popular opinion. And it was wrong. It was all wrong. See, people are saying Aiden O'Cornerback's a terrible quarterback. Is that the popular opinion? It was before we started the season. Maybe it was 50-50, but then Gardner Minshew won the game, and then all of a sudden there was 60-40, maybe it was even 30-70. People started, oh, well, maybe Gardner Minshew is the guy because he won a game against a tough team. And then he lost freaking 5-6 games after that in a row. Or no, then he won one against Cleveland. Then he lost 6 games in a row. Forgot. Those 2 victories got him 10 games. You know, save the fact that Aiden got hurt. Because if Aiden hadn't got hurt, Gardner would have been pulled out much earlier than this. That's why I say. And he should have been. Of course, we all know that. The Minshew maniacs are still trying to hold on to the, Aiden's no better than Gardner thing. And that fell apart on their lap the last game. And now it's just, so what? He's not going to do it again, but he's done it already before. So people have their opinion of those things, and they don't understand that your opinion is not solid gold. And just because you have your opinion don't mean you can yell at me and say mine's is wrong, because mine's right. But the evidence points to mine being right. I mean, look at the games he played and look at the games Minshew played. And now it's more evident than anybody. And now, after that win, I'm looking at online, made a post that I want to pick up what I want to put on everywhere when I found some Aiden haters that I to throw the numbers at them. But there's a lot of content creators aren't walking into that Aiden hate. They're staying away from it a little bit. A lot of people saying it's just the one game, but they're on the positive side of the just one game. There's Mitchell Rentz people on the other side of it's just one game, it won't happen again. But there's a lot of people on the other side of, yeah, it's just one game, but it looks so much better than everything we had. It can definitely happen again. And I'm definitely on the side of, yeah, it's one game, but there's been games like that, and there'll be more to come in the future. Now, if we win enough games to get out of the Sanders sweepstakes, then forget it. I don't care. Because that means that we've progressed and that we got a team that's going to function. And that's only if we can't get them naturally, like trading up and doing all the other stuff. Like, if we can't get them, then we can't get them. The way things are going right now, we can get them. If things continue that way, we could get him. And if he is there, we should get him. I don't care how much Aiden does or how well he played. I definitely think we should draft Shedeur Sanders if we get a chance to. Because there's no guarantees in anyone. But legacy always brings a very good high probability. If you draft you a Manning, you can be sure that you're going to get a quarterback that is at least better than average and can win big games for you. As Eli Manning or a la Eli Manning. So being around success and bringing success to the league, there's a lot that you can learn from the success of your father and his friend Tom Brady. Anybody other than Shedeur Sanders is a wash. I don't want to see anybody other than Shedeur Sanders drafted. It's a waste of a pick because the if on Cam Newton or whatever his ass name is, whatever the if is on him, it's not good enough to throw away the possibility of a good draft pick in our first draft pick. I wouldn't chance Cam over, let's say, a Travis Hunter or someone of that ilk, a top player. I wouldn't trade someone like Travis. We'll say Travis Hunter specifically. If I had the chance to get Cam on Travis, I would say we could do better with Travis because if we don't have a chance at Shedeur Sanders, that means we had a decent season at the end and we fell out of competition for him. But if we stay in competition for him, then of course we get him because that means we didn't have a good season. Our bad season continued, and we weren't able to get away from the being in the first position to draft the first pick. So, Cam, no. Shedeur, yes. Wins, wins, Hunter, losses, Shedeur. So, we have to lose enough games and really forget about anybody other than Shedeur Sanders to have him on our team. If we don't lose enough games, then we stick with Aiden and we see what we find later if Shedeur is taken away from us. If we have any chance to get Shedeur Sanders, we get Shedeur Sanders. I don't care how well Aiden's playing. Now, that part, I agree. Well, that's not true. If Aiden's not playing well enough, then we get Shedeur Sanders. I don't think that. See, the two things can be true. If we did bad enough to need Shedeur Sanders, then we should get him. If we didn't do bad enough to need Shedeur Sanders, we shouldn't get him even if we just can, because that not be what's best for us when we can improve our team in other ways instead of trying to double up on a top level quarterback, which is what the haters want to do, which is what Mitch Rentz said, and other people have said this, but Mitch Rentz specifically, out of his mouth, said, "I don't care if Aiden O'Connell throws for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns for the last 5 games. We should draft Shedeur Sanders no matter what." That I can't believe I almost let that come out of my mouth by mistake. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. If we had now, and if you ask him this question, now I bet you this. Say, so if Shedeur Sanders comes in and his first 5 games or the last 5 games of the season, he does what he does 5 and 300 yards and 2 touchdowns a game. Are you still just going to go out and draft whoever you can as soon as you can? Are you going to draft what the next quarterback is? Just like, hey, we got Shedeur and he balled out, but let's take another chance on another quarterback with our number 1 pick. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can get 2 top level quarterbacks. Right? Let's do that. That doesn't make any sense. So the thing is going to work it out all by itself. We're going to get Shedeur if we lose. And if we win, we won't be able to get Shedeur and we won't need him. So things will fall into place. And everything will hopefully, it doesn't even matter. The way things fall into place, it doesn't matter. It should all fall the Raiders' way. And the whole just Shedeur no matter what thing is a little bit too much. I believe we should get Shedeur if he's there. But if we can't get him by natural causes, we don't try to throw our picks around to go down and get him if we know we got a good quarterback already. Um, I have no doubt that if Shedeur Sanders is up there, even if we do have Tom Telesco, that there's a chance that he will, because you know if he really feels like Shedeur Sanders is the best player available, even if he is happy with Aiden's performance, then yeah, he's going to draft him. So, but in that case, we're getting him naturally. So if he just falls to us naturally, then yes, that's fine, because we do need two quarterbacks. But sacrificing our draft and skipping over players that could be better than him for our team is not the way to go, in my opinion. I think just going for it just because, I don't see that as being a good idea. Um, I can understand that we need backup quarterback, and it'd be good to see, which one Shedeur or Aiden's going to take us to the future. But I just don't see it making sense to trade up and jeopardize and throw away the rest of our draft to try to get Shedeur Sanders. And if he's there, it means we're not throwing away the rest of our draft, and we're getting them through natural causes. It's falling directly to us. We're picking where we pick. He comes to us. But I don't think Tom Telesco, I don't know how hungry he is for Shedeur. Well, but it seems like he is pretty hungry since he tried to sabotage the team. And you'll never get me to come off that. Never. From now on, that's my thing. Telesco, put Aiden O'Connell out. Put Minshew out there to guarantee us some losses, because he knew Minshew was going to get out there and stink. He's not a good quarterback. Anybody who knows anything about a quarterback knows that Minshew is not a good quarterback. You people out there who like him as a football player, whatever, but you see what his football players got him: sacked and turned over and intercepted, because he doesn't know how to play quarterback. And even last game, he had a decent game, but he still doesn't know how to play quarterback, and you could tell in that game. And then people after Aiden's game starts, I've heard people saying that, well, he was still dinking and dunking the whole game, like Minshew does as well. Although he had 3 passes over 40 yards. Whatever. That's called hate, despite evidence to say the contrary. Oh, but he was just dinking and dunking, except for those 3 passes, which were what, luck or something. He can't move, except for those times where he got out the pocket and caught a receiver downfield. He did that to Brock a couple of times this game. He's completely immobile, but he did run for a first down. He did it. It got called back, but he did it. You can't say he's a complete statue if you rush for a first down. You ain't gonna see Peyton Manning was never gonna do that. Eli Manning was never gonna do that, because they're completely immobile. And if Aiden O'Connell was completely immobile, you'd never see something like that. So he's not completely immobile. But that's what people want to use as their narrative, because they got to hold on to something to say that's why they hate him, and that's why he's not a good quarterback. That's not that's why they hate him, because they don't hate. They don't want to say that they hate. They just want to say that he's not a good quarterback. They want to say, I know what I'm talking about. So, but the truth is, out there, there's either you're hating because you want to hate, or you're hating because you said he would stink, and now he's not stinking. Now it's looking like he won't stink, and it's going to come to bite those people all up in the face like a leopard, and they're just doing the best they can to stay away from that. They are hoping. These people are hoping that Aiden O'Connell does not succeed for their own benefit. Now, I'm not saying I don't think Shedeur Sanders is a good draft pick. I am saying that giving up stuff to get Shedeur Sanders doesn't make any sense. If he's there, he's the best player available. Let's do it, because no matter what, we'll still need a backup quarterback, whether it be Aiden backing up Sador or Sador backing up Aiden. We can go and get a cheap quarterback if we draft Sador. So, with that being said, yes, in those there are situations where no matter what Aiden O'Connell does, we should draft Sador Sanders. But those situations are out there, but the way he said it, it wasn't like oh, I still think that's smart. It was, so what? Who cares how good Aiden is? We gonna get Sador Sanders because Aiden sucks. I'm not saying we should get Sador Sanders because Aiden sucks. I'm saying Sador Sanders would be a good pick for our team because it'd be nice if he's there for us, and every team needs a backup quarterback. And if those two are competing for the starting job, that means Sador Sanders has to be good because Aiden O'Connell's good, right? And secure Sador Sanders is that much better than Aiden O'Connell in the preseason. If we get to draft him, then he's going to be a baller, and we have nothing to worry about from there. And you won't hear me complain about Aiden being on the field because there will be no need to, because the best quarterback on our team is on the field. The best quarterback on our team was not on the field, and that was a problem. The best quarterback on our team is a lot better than the fans feel he is, and that also is a problem. That has people wishing we could lose, whatever. That has people hating on Aiden O'Connell because they just want to. That's all there is to it. Just like I said, you look at Bo Nix's numbers for his first 9 games, look at Aiden's numbers for the first 9 games. So similar, make your head spin. But it doesn't matter. Bo Nix was a first-round pick, so he's being considered for Rookie of the Year. Aiden O'Connell was a 4th-round pick. So no matter what he did, it wasn't good enough because he wasn't talented enough to make it look good because he wasn't picked high enough. So we all know he wasn't good enough to do it because we're so smart. We know who should be picked at that position, and by picking him at that position, we know that he can't be good enough because that's what we feel as the media type or the YouTube speakers or whoever wants to get that low-hanging fruit and say he must be bad because of where he got picked. And I'm just going to stay with that. And no matter what type of performance he gives up, he still is just terrible. For the rest of the season, if he can't pull it off, he's just terrible. 300 yards, 2 touchdowns for the rest of the season. So what? He's terrible. Now, 300 yards and 2 touchdowns for the rest of the season. Somehow we got that record and we just kept losing all those games, and we got the first pick. I can see them picking Shedeur Sanders. I can see them not. You know what I'm saying? But I can see them doing it. I mean, if we don't win out, we get Shedeur Sanders. And that's good enough. If we don't get Shedeur Sanders by natural means because somehow we won out, we can't start sacrificing other positions to go get Shedeur now when we already have a quarterback who's proven to be talented. So if he falls to us, I believe that they'll still pick him up. Making a deal to get him right now, I don't see that as an option. Based on this game and what's projected, if they could project this to be the future for Aiden. So they're right now, I think 50-50 actually, I'll say. They're seeing, okay, after that game, maybe Aiden's going to keep stepping up. But we still got to make those calls. We still got to keep those packages together. We still got to make sure, we know exactly where our position is as far as draft goes to see how we have to manage this draft as far as who we're going to give up, who we're going to get, how we're going to do it, and how Aiden O'Connell and I guess Antonio Pierce factor into it. And for that matter, Scott Norwood. But in my opinion, Aiden O'Connell's going to be on the team, at least that. He's not going to, whether he's going to start next year or not depends on who we draft. And we got Tom Telesco, and he's not going anywhere. Scott Turner, we don't know what he's going to do, but he's doing a decent job now. If we went out or look good, then we got Scott Turner, and maybe we'll keep him for the rest of the year. And hey, we'll have an offensive coordinator that is tried and true that we like. We'll have a draft up in front of us where the game, the options are wide open, especially if Aiden has a good second half of the season. We got, free agent market where we got cap space all over the place. We got a lot of good things going for us right now. And the fact that Aiden is performing well is another good thing that's going for us right now, no matter what Team Tank thinks. Okay? So, go ahead, Team Tank. Let's see what happens. Oh, I never said that I was afraid to see us lose. Maybe not Team Tank. I want us to win, but I'm not afraid to see us lose. I'm not as stressed out about losses. Let's say it that way. I'm not as disappointed. It don't hurt as much when we lose because of, the repercussions of the loss with the situation that is created because of the loss. And if we win, the situation that's created because of the win is outstanding. I'll take the elation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm taking Aiden with the elation. It's happy for me, but we'll see what everybody else gets. We'll see what everybody else does. And we'll see how Aiden takes it. I think he's going to take it, but of course I think that the only question is Mitch and those of his thinking out of his mind, or no matter how well Aiden performs, we put a package together to get Shedeur Sanders. My thing is, if we can get Shedeur Sanders through natural means, even if he is our first pick, I believe that they would do that. I believe that I would do that. And I definitely believe that that would be the best thing for the Raiders. So, I'm not saying skip Shedeur Sanders. No. If we get a chance to get Shedeur Sanders, no matter how well Aiden plays, then yes, I think we get Shedeur Sanders. We don't skip him if we can get him for a Travis Hunter. I don't see that. I'm not the drafter, and Tom Telesco has the rating. So, but I don't see there being a quarterback mandate like I heard someone else say earlier. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what channel it was on, but they were saying that Mark is bringing a quarterback mandate down. Like, no matter what goes on in the draft, I demand that you draft a quarterback this year. No matter whom it is. Just draft quarterback now, or this draft. And Mark doesn't even run the team like that. So what makes people think that they should come out with a story saying that, Mark Davis has put a draft mandate on it? Where'd you get that idea from? And I hate when people say a source inside the building. Well, what the hell does that source know? And what makes you think that I should think that your source knows what the hell they're talking about? Especially when they come off with stuff that's way out of left field like that. I mean, Mark Davis, by his own admission and by the fans, or at least by the writers' admission, stays out of it as much as he possibly can. He pushes it to them and says, you guys do what you can do best because I'm not sure what to do. I know what I would like done. And if you don't think what I would like done is the best thing to do, then we'll see how it goes from there. But he's not going to say, I don't care what you think we should do, and I don't care if Shedeur and Cam are gone. I want a quarterback this year. Do it, no matter what. That's not how he runs the team. That's not how a team should be run. You think a team should be run like that, go back and ask Jerry Jones, okay? You go be a Dallas Cowboys fan. That's how he runs that team. Over here, Mark doesn't say, I demand this or I demand that. He says, I want what's best for the team, and I hired the people to do that, and I'm going to trust them. And if I don't like it, I'm going to speak up. This is still my team. but I give them as much rope as I choose to, and I'm willing to give a lot of rope. He gave a lot to McDoofus until he just straight up looked him in the face and said, I'm not going to do what you tell me to do. So, the silver lining is win, lose, or draw, we're going to get what we want as far as a Raiders football team. We're going to get a talented Aiden O'Connell and a good pick of a talented player to fill the hole that we have. Or we're going to get Aiden O'Connell, even if he is talented and does a good job, and we still get the losses, then we naturally get Shedeur Sanders anyway. But a package to get Shedeur when Aiden is performing top level is not the way to go. So we'll see how far Aiden goes. But, I'm not really worried about it. Because if Shedeur Sanders is better than him, then so be it. I'm not worried about that. If Shedeur can develop and be better than Aiden, then great. I don't care. Aiden O'Connell is better than Shedeur Sanders right now. But Shedeur can develop and become better than Aiden O'Connell. Shedeur has more upside. Shedeur has legacy. He has it in his DNA. He knows what success is, and so does his daddy and best friend. So that's why I say Shedeur over Aiden, or Shedeur with Aiden, or Shedeur and Aiden. Either way. But Aiden and Cam is no. Aiden and anybody else is no. The only one who has a better, who is guaranteed to have a successful career is Shedeur Sanders. Because his dad and Tom Brady won't stop until he's successful. And he's going to be teaching them, and he's going to learn success at some point. So that's a guarantee in my mind. But, that's the future. We'll see what happens with that. For now, Aiden's better than Shedeur. If we can get him, we get him. If we got to throw stuff away to get him, it's not worth it. In my opinion. So, the silver lining is win, loss, or draw, like I was saying before I interrupted myself. We get what we want. And that's enough. So, enjoy that. Enjoy the game. And let's see what Aiden can do, regardless if we win or lose. Because if he's talented, he'll be better than Shedeur in the future. If he's not that talented, then Shedeur will be better than he is in the future. And either way, if one surpasses the other, that is going to be a talented quarterback. Because if you think Aiden's a bad quarterback, that's fine. But if you think a good quarterback will go in there and score and, throw for 340 points and 2 touchdowns against Kansas City, you would say that that's a good quarterback. Until whomever you are found out, oh, you're talking about Aiden? No, but Aiden stinks. Anyway, let's get what we want. A good quarterback. And we will, whether it's Aiden or Shedeur. Because if one is better than the other, then that one is a good quarterback. All right? So, remember, who cares if we win? Because you can't win them all anyway. And the clouds get dark. But, when you're looking for the bright side, come to the silver lining. Guru out.